A-T. It's in the name.
Welcome into the Helping Healing Humor with Ben and Travis podcast. On today's episode, the legend himself, Jacob Hennigan, returns to talk a little bit about the Joyrider, the adventures of Ben and Travis and the Joyrider, and just all of the children's book adventures and the fun that comes along with it, and a lot of the putting up with me and Ben. So some of what our family and friends all get to experience from time to time. We'll have that conversation right after this important message about the Joyrider. Hey friends, we've got something really special to share with you today, a brand new children's book that's all about faith, family, and finding joy in the middle of life's challenges. It's called The Adventures of Ben and Travis and the Joyrider. This heartwarming story follows a big brother in a wheelchair who uses his creativity, courage, and a whole lot of love to help his little brother and cousin overcome life's obstacles. Together they show us that joy isn't about what you have, it's about how you choose to face the ups and downs of life. This book is full of fun, adventure, and hope. It's perfect for bedtime stories, Sunday school libraries, or as a meaningful gift for the kids in your life. Plus, it's a great way to start conversations with your family about resilience, compassion, and faith. Pre-orders are open now, and when you order early, you'll be one of the first to get your hands on this inspiring story. Just head over to benandtravis.com/books. That's benandtravis.com/books and pre-order your copy today. Give your kids a story that will make them smile, laugh, and believe in the power of joy. I'm Travis Creasy, the pulpit minister at Westgate Church of Christ in Dothan, Alabama, all the way down here in the southeast corner of the great state of Alabama. That is Ben Hayes, all-pro counselor, also with Highland Park Church of Christ, and the father of the Magnificent Five. That is right, five. Okay,
got it. Don't give me any more.
Ben, how's it going, man?
It's going good. It's been a great couple of weeks, really busy couple of weeks. Soccer is now in swing. The playoffs for basketball are happening, so I've felt like I've lived at the school the last couple of weeks. But everything's going pretty good. So just thankful to be here. Thankful to have the Jacob Hennigan with us as well. Many of you might know him as Bo Diddley Bob or the Pizza Man. What we know him as is the master illustrator of The Adventures of Ben and Travis. How are you, Jacob?
I'm doing great. I would like to say that the pleasure is all mine, but I was told not to lie when I was a child, so... No, perfect. Y'all are great, and getting to work with the both of you has been nothing short of the greatest working experience I have ever had in my professional career.
And we have not paid him for that plug either, so we'll get up with you later, Jacob.
Well, I was told not to lie as a child, so
that's true. That's true. So just to start, where can we find more of your art, Jacob? Go ahead and give us that plug right out the gate.
If you are on Facebook or Instagram, my CB handle is the same on both websites. It's Jacob_Hennigan_art. So JACOB_HENNIGAN_ART.
And it's whether phenomenal. You buy his art or not, the art that he puts on those pages is entertaining, especially the ones where you show how you've drawn it. You did it with the WorryCoaster as well. I love the time-lapse drawings. But, man, those commissions that you've done recently, the Daredevil, that was incredible. Awesome. It's really awesome.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, I love to look through your stuff on there, and it's really awesome to see what all you've done. You were a graduate of course, here at Mars Hill many moons ago, and then you went to Savannah College of Art and Design, SCAD, and sounded like you had a really awesome experience while you were there, and of course, just fine-tuned all of your talents that you'd been taking care of since, I think you said before, like before you could walk, you were drawing and doing stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all kids draw. People always ask, like, oh, when did you start drawing? You know, all kids love creating and making art. The only difference between me and anybody else is that I stuck with it and put in more practice.
Yeah. Well, I kind of off subject a little, but not really. We were put here by a creator, and I think we're all endowed with that part of him. We all create something in some way. You just happen to create stuff that's phenomenal with your art, your drawing, coloring, painting, whatever it is that you do. I've not really seen anything that I've thought, this guy should stop that. So it's good stuff.
It's an intervention today, if you didn't know, Jacob. We're intervention.
Yeah.
No, but just tell us a little bit about maybe the inspiration for some of the art in the Joyrider. I know we had the WorryCoaster. We were on here last year talking about that. Maybe some of the shift in the art, any changes. Was it easier that some of it you'd already come up with and you kind of got to be a little more creative this time? But, it's kind of a universe to itself. Not that we're looking to make movies or cartoons anytime soon, unless somebody out there.
Somebody want to pick it up again.
That project.
It was definitely, there were some things that were easier and some things that were more challenging this time around because I feel like I got kind of my visual language of how the characters look and how whenever they're imagining things, how that will look on the page and everything. I got a bunch of that figured out with the last book. But that in itself, that has pros and cons because some of the stuff is already figured out. But there's a lot of stuff that is new to this book that I did not do in the last book that now I have to think, okay, well, how do I draw this and make it match the style that I established in the first book? Which basically any long-running piece of art faces those challenges. Like you pick up a comic book and you'll see that the artist, even if it's the same artist, the way they draw the characters in issue 1 looks a little bit different than how they draw the characters in issue 100 or an animated series. It's kind of always evolving and changing, but I tried to play it a little bit close to the chest and make it match the first book as best I could.
Was there something, a particular thing you're thinking of? Because I'm in my own mind thinking like what exactly you're referring to, but what are some things that you felt like were some shifts that you tried to make or difficulties that you tried to connect, those two books together with?
Well, the main thing that I'm thinking of is the vehicles, because in the WorryCoaster book, I only drew one real vehicle, and it was the church bus at the end whenever they go to the amusement park. And so I did it a little bit wonky and cartoony in the shape language and everything, and now I'm drawing vehicles on almost every page for the Joyrider. And so I'm trying to make that match the visual language of the car that I drew just the one time, the church bus that I drew just the once, but also be something that I can easily repeat page after page after page and it look consistent. Which it helped that we kind of cast cars as the models. Like we had Bradley in a vehicle that looks a lot like a 68 Charger, and Ben was in a vehicle that looks a lot like a 77 Trans Am. So that helped me as far as finding reference and images of these vehicles from different angles, so I could figure that out in perspective and make it all match.
Yeah. And I remember you saying, like, when we first were starting out, you were like, I want to have it where you're sticking up out of the top of the car, this cartoonist, so it doesn't look like I'm trying to draw you through a windshield. And in my brain, I was like, I see where you're going, but that's going to look wonky. But the moment that it came out, I was like, it doesn't look wonky at all. It looks phenomenal the way you had it. It's almost like the kind of cars like the kids drove, would drive, the little automated ones that you drive around in your driveway. So you're kind of too big for it, but so it worked out like perfectly. But it's just always amazing to me when you give some vision. Sometimes in my brain, I'm going, I don't know that's gonna work, Jacob. And of course, you're always right. So there we go.
Well, I ain't always right, but I ain't never wrong. But the what you were just saying about y'all's faces sticking up out of the tops of the vehicles. Absolutely, I wanted to give y'all as much quote unquote screen time as possible. And it's hard for y'all to like portray all the emotions that you're feeling when you're locked behind a windshield. So the first thing that I thought of, and this was a big inspiration for any of the dream sequence when y'all are in the monster trucks and tearing it up, was the illustrations of Ed Roth, Big Daddy Roth, his Rat Fink illustrations. He was like the man when it came to Southern California custom car culture in like the 60s and 70s. And so he was kind of a very influential alt cartoonist for that particular subculture. And then I looked at a lot of Alex Toth. Alex Toth is one of my favorite comic book artists and cartoonists, and he actually did a bunch of work in the 60s for Hot Wheels magazine. Hot Wheels had their own line of comics, and so I was really studying over how they handled speed and velocity and making the vehicles appear as if they have emotions as well. But Big Daddy Roth, especially, the way he draws these crazy characters, and the way I drew Bradley coming up out of his monster truck with the big gear shift that's taller than he is.
Awesome.
That's a direct homage to Big Daddy Roth. He would always draw these monstrous characters, these speed demons, and they would have gear shifts all the way up here, and they're just insane. They've gone insane. They're speed junkies.
That's impressive to me because I didn't really think about that till you mentioned it. But then now it's like, well, yeah, like there's a reason why that kind of, triggers our brains, because we've seen that growing up, Ben and I, and which is kind of cool because there's another connection that we didn't really necessarily intend. We want to bring parents and kids together, but like the little Easter eggs that are in it. And so that kind of leads me to my next question for you, Jacob. Which Easter egg in there, and by Easter egg, I mean cultural reference, is maybe your favorite? I know that it's your baby, the whole thing, so it may be difficult to come up with. So if you got a couple of options that you might like.
Probably my favorite thing was getting to draw y'all and Bradley as wrestlers. I have been watching a whole bunch of wrestling. I'll play it. I almost always play something in the background while I'm drawing, just so that the silence doesn't drive me crazy. And lately I've been playing a bunch of old episodes of Raw and WCW Nitro and anything I can get my hands on in the background while I am working. And so that helped me a lot thematically, because all that wrestling is storytelling through action. And me making all of this, there are words on the page, but I'm supposed to treat it as if there are no words. I have to communicate the story as if there are no words at all. And so there's a lot of similarities between the visual communication that I do and the visual communication that is necessary if you're a wrestler playing to the cheap seats in the back of the auditorium. But also getting to draw y'all as a off-brand parody of Hulk Hogan and off-brand parody of Ultimate Warrior, and then Bradley as an off-brand parody of The Undertaker was really a thrill for me.
Travis has always dreamed of being the ultimate warrior. So, he's getting to live out the dream in cartoon form. I think my favorite throwback or little Easter egg was probably the A-Team. Like I was down with that. And then also it was a toss up between it and the X-Men.
Let's
Because
just take them all, Ben. Just take them all.
I was
Just take them
sorry, I didn't let you have one, did I?
Just kidding.
I think
I
my
love the
favorite
fact-
part about the X-Men thing is that we did play. How many times did we play that?
man.
And Bradley was Xavier. Like
Yeah.
he's got the built-in wheelchair. So we're like, all right, you're Xavier. You got to tell us what we got to do.
100%.
So that was always fun.
I love that we maintain our cowlicks the whole way through. Bradley's got the mohawk, but he's still got the cowlick in the back. I love that. I would say my favorite Easter egg, and it's actually back to the WorryCoaster, is if you look real close in the book, Ben's hood design on his car is the WorryCoaster.
Yes, yes.
I love that. Love that.
I love the
I was
stickers,
actually kind
by
of
the way.
sad that I was actually kind of sad that we weren't able, or I wasn't able to show Ben's vehicle more closely, so that I could really showcase the fact that it's halfway between the WorryCoaster and the Trans Am logo.
Yeah.
But Ben was not the focus of the dream sequence. It was really about Bradley and Travis, and Ben was there for emotional support.
When you see Ben running around at CYC with that logo on his shirt, you just holler at him eastbound and down wherever you're at. So
There you go. Exactly.
No, but I love the hood. I love the hood. Love all the 80s references, all the comic book references. And Ben is dead on. Like, we'll always have a great admonition for you, Jacob, for making our dreams come true, regardless of how well the book sells. We get to be cartoons. And of course, they're flying off the shelf like crazy. I don't know if we have them on a shelf. I guess I have mine on a shelf over here. But we do have a lot of orders going out. Ben's having to stay busy, keeping the post office hot, but that's how we like it. And I'll just take a moment to say, if you want a copy, you can go to benandtravis.com/books, and it'll take you to the link. To get a copy of the WorryCoaster, unless you live there in the Shoals or down here in Dothan, you're probably going to have to go to Amazon to do that. You can look it up there. But we also have the combo deal on the Ben and Travis website, where you can get both books, and it ends up being $10 cheaper. If you bought them separate, it's going to be $50. If you buy them together off the benandtravis.com website, you can get it for $40. So just throw that out there. But Jacob, like Ben said, phenomenal job. It's beautiful, a beautiful book. Is there a page in it that you just, it's the page that if somebody was like, hey, send me your artwork from this, you got to pick one page from this book, The Joyrider, and you're going to try to impress somebody to hire you on a much bigger, more grandiose project, to where you're going to make a lot more money than you're making with us. Which one you sending?
It would definitely have to be the first 2-page spread of the dream sequence, which I'm very proud of. When y'all are gearing up to go into the dream sequence, how Bradley is doing a burnout in his monster truck, and then the next page y'all take off, and you're going so fast that it's leaving trails of flames behind you. But I think the one that was the most successful is the next page following that, where y'all are completely in the dream world, and there is a volcano that is bubbling over, that is erupting, that mirrors Travis's emotional state earlier in the book. And y'all are ripping past it in the monster trucks. I was particularly proud of how that one turned out.
Boogity boogity.
Yeah.
Good old Ray Stevens
Another,
reference. That's how I took it, anyways.
or what's his name? Waldrop, Daryl Waldrop. Isn't he the one that used to say
Oh,
"Boogity boogity
yeah.
boogity boys, let's go racing"?
I think the NASCAR reference, he originally started doing that in reference to the Ray Stevens song.
Really?
Yes,
That's
I think
impressive.
so. I could be wrong.
That's
When
even
my
better.
head is exploding in anger, that's probably the page my children most associate with, right? That's the face they've seen the most out of that book.
Yes.
But really neat. I got home with
Yeah.
my copies, and my son blew right past me. No hi, Dad. No hey, I love you. No hug. He almost shoved me out of the way and was like, "Where is my Joyrider?" And so you'll be happy to know that he has his. And he is comparing and contrasting between both books, and we've had extensive conversations
That's incredible.
about that.
It's good. I would love to hear his thoughts sometime.
Yes, he is. He has opinions and thoughts.
Has he
Mostly
started
good.
asking about the third one, or did
Yeah,
you not
he,
tell him that there's a third one?
he expects the third one like sometime next week, I think. He gets through one, and it's like, "Where? Come on, what's going on?" And I'm like, "It takes time, son. It takes time."
So I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you for entertainment purposes, Jacob. What was your least favorite part of drawing this book?
Honestly, probably drawing Bradley's wheelchair, which, you know, it is great that I think it was the right decision to write the book that we did, to create the book that we did, and it is a great source of pride for me that I'm getting to provide representation for differently abled people in children's media and all that type of stuff. The same way that Bradley, as a child, looked up to the representation that Professor X gave him. I'm proud to help y'all carry that torch. But Bradley's wheelchair was just kind of boring to draw over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Because it didn't provide the same excitement that drawing a monster truck would provide. I would rather draw 5 monster trucks in a row than have to draw the wheelchair again even once.
Yeah.
I just got very, very tired of having to pull those straight lines to describe the form of the wheelchair and everything. I definitely like drawing organic things more than having to get out a ruler and measure straight lines. So definitely Bradley's wheelchair. I'm interested in what you thought my least favorite thing was going to be, Ben.
That's what I thought. Well, you had I think you had said something about it, that it was just laborious, I guess, was the thought.
Yes, that's a good word for it.
Yeah. But I thought your representation of Bradley was spot on. And everybody that I talked to was like, it looks just like him, from the way he holds his hands to the way he drives the wheelchair. But then I loved how you incorporated him, how he drives the wheelchair into how he drives the sports car. How he's driving the Charger, because he's got that big shift, like you said, that's sticking up, but he's still kind of driving it the way he drives his wheelchair. So I just thought it was a really cool bleed over from the real world to the dream world, that it still represented like his character, his just the way that he's represented in life. And I thought it was a really cool crossover.
I tried really hard to represent Bradley in a way that it would be obvious to kids reading the book that he is different from Ben and Travis. He looks a little bit different. And like you said, with the way he held his hands and things like that, it would have been a lot easier for me to draw him looking basically the same as how y'all look, and holding his hands the same as how y'all hold your hands. But I wanted to accurately represent him and his condition, and not pull any punches when it came to drawing him, so that the kids reading the book can see, yes, he is different, but he absolutely does not let that stop him.
Yeah.
Awesome. On behalf of all the kiddos who love this book and all the adults, just give you a big thanks for coming along, partnering up with us, and letting us throw our ideas at you, and then you above and beyond putting them on the page better than anything we could have imagined, for sure.
Yes.
Well, thank y'all. I would be amiss if I didn't thank y'all as much, if not more, for allowing me to come along on this journey.
Well, hey, Bo
Love
Diddly Dum.
Thanks for being with us for this episode of the Helping Healing Humor podcast. Be sure to download our free ebook, 28 Days of Focused Living, at benandtravis.com and receive all of our Helping Healing and Humor extra content directly in your inbox. We look forward to having you join us at the same Ben and Travis time, same Ben and Travis channel.